right, so one of the things that I've got to get fixed on this car is the wheel hub here on the front passenger side. It is bad. I'm going to do both. It's got 300,000 miles on it. The other one will go sooner or later. If you don't know how to test one of these, the best way to do it really is, with it on the ground, which right now it's on the little lift, but when it's on the ground, you just grab the wheel and you just move it this way, side to side. And if there's any movement at all, you can feel it, you can see it, you know your hub's bad. This one, the car kind of moves, but it has a lot of movement in it there. The other side, the driver's side does not, but like I said, I'm just going to replace that one anyways. So this shouldn't be too difficult a project if you haven't done it before. I guess the biggest question is what size nut is on there, which I'm not sure. So we'll see when we get there. All right, so I got the wheel off here on the driver's side, and the next thing you got to do is you got to remove the entire caliper so you can remove the rotor. So there's two 17mm bolts on the back. They're going to be tough to do, but get those off, and then you can pull the caliper, full caliper off, remove that, the rotor, and then we can get to the bolts. All right, so you don't have a drive axle on the front of an MR2 like you do on a Jeep, so you don't have to remove the drive nut there. But you have 4 bolts, one there, 2 on the other side. They're 12mm, so they come off the back. One of the tricks, this is going to be stuck on really quite well. So what you do is you unscrew them most of the way, leave them in, leave the nut in the back, hit it with a rubber hammer, and it'll pop it. So that way you don't mess up the bolt. You've got pressure on it, go in the right direction, that kind of a thing. So we'll get this popped off. All right, so right now we're looking at, here's the front of the hub here, the back. Excuse me, here's the sensor for the ABS. So this has got to pull out. The trick is you got to use a little screwdriver. You stick it in the back and pinch it, and when you pinch it up, it moves this little spring clip right here, and then you can pull it straight out. So that comes right off. Now you just got to dislodge this. All right, so that was a tough one. That thing was really stuck in there. It was really rusted on there. And you can see it just, this edge here, it just corrodes with this edge, and it's tough to get out of there. So a lot of 5-pound sledge, got it moving, a lot of PB blaster, and kept working it in and out until poof, popped right off. So now putting in the new one shouldn't be too either. To get all that cleaned up, swap over the shield, and put it all back together. All right, so she's mounted. I cleaned out the inside. I used a Dremel, just quick and easy, cleaned it out. I used a little PB blaster in there, a little lubricant, keep it from corroding too much. Don't forget to put your heat shield on before you mount this. I've done that before and had to take it apart. And the 4 bolts are in. I'm not sure what the torque spec is. I just do them as hard as I can do them. They're not going anywhere. I will say this spins so much smoother and easier than the old one. The old one just was a way more difficult to spin, and so it's a good thing swapping them out. And don't forget about your ABS sensor in the back. Plug that in, it should snap on. And now I'm just ready to put the brakes back on and the wheel, and done. All right, so I put the brakes on, and I remembered that I actually have a little cut in this brake line. It's just, I don't know, got nicked by something. And so that'll be a problem. That won't pass inspection here in Virginia. So I got to replace this brake line. One of these days I'm gonna pull these brakes, paint them, do them up, make them look pretty, probably change out the rotors and the pads. But for now, these are fine. They'll pass inspection. There's plenty of meat on them, but I do have to replace that hose. So I'm gonna do that while I've got it all apart. I'm also gonna replace the springs and the shocks. But again, these I believe will pass inspection. So I just want to get this thing that done, and I can move on to other projects. All right, so it's all put back together. Brake lines in. I went with just a rubber one. I've read so many things about the stainless, and some people say they're better, some people say they're worse, and or they're not as good, or they're the same, and all sorts of stuff. So I just decided to just go with a rubber one. They're inexpensive. So bled the brakes, made a mess, but bled the brakes, so now I put the wheel on, and I am done with this side. On the passenger side, all I got to do is the